Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. We have got so much to talk about. This is episode 200. We have about 6 or 7 discs to give away. We have a Ranger H2O bag to give away, a lot of your disc golf questions, and so much more. This is Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze, and I'm with me, Eric. 200 years old. No, 200
Wow,
McCabe.
Can you believe it? Man.
That's awesome.
That is crazy. For real.
And Robert Ruby McCall.
Robert, like 30 episodes.
Yeah, 30 episodes.
Not a lot.
So let's take a little trip back on memory lane. Me and Eric, I wasn't working for Dynamic Disc. I was just doing a lot of stuff, Cool Daddy Slick Breeze for disc golf. And I'd been listening to some podcasts. I'd been doing a podcast on potentially living full-time in an RV. And I had the idea of doing a podcast. And, of course, I reached out to Eric. And Eric was like, yes, let's do it. Of course, I was living in Bartlesville. Eric, where were you? Were you living in Texas?
On the road.
Oh, you were on the road most of the time. But was Emporia your home base or more?
Emporia
okay.
was.
And so we thought we'll do I'll call him and we'll record it. And we'll talk about disc golf. And I thought, well, wait a minute. Let's just have people call in and ask questions and get information from a pro disc golfer or a world champion. And I think the first episode was like 15 minutes long. I think we barely got in like 5 or 6 questions.
Quality was
yeah.
Spectacular.
Yeah. So, and now here we are. That was like in June 2014. Here we are now, episode 200. And it's just grown and grown and grown. We have now a third person, Robert McCall, who's added to the show. We've gone from just a 1 microphone and a recorder calling Eric to now we have 3 microphones. We have cameras set up. We have professional recording equipment. And I tell you what, I'll be honest. Everything that we do in Dynamic Disc, everything as far as my job, this has to be among the most fun part of what we do. I think it's awesome. I love connecting with you guys on this level. I love when we're traveling and people come up and they shake my hand and they say, I listen to the show. I love the show. Or even when we go to a DD tournament, I just listened to the show driving over here to the tournament. I think that's awesome. So what are your thoughts, Eric?
200. It's unbelievable.
I know.
I mean, in the beginning, we didn't know where it would go. We didn't know if it would just be something we did over. I think we may have started, late. We said June.
Yeah, somewhere June, July, something like that.
So at that point, we didn't know. Maybe it would be just something quick. And you said 2014. That can't be right.
Just 24. Yeah,
it can't be because I remember us in one of the better episodes that we did was in the hotel at Am Worlds, which was 2013.
Was it 20?
It was 2013.
Maybe
Am Worlds was 2013, right? That we hosted in Emporia. Is that right?
That sounds right. I'm not positive.
Maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about. Hold on, keep going.
I think so. And I just remember it was during that Am Worlds, and we sat down and we had our Answer Man episode in the hotel, and it was kind of like, wow, this is really happening. That's kind of when it first clicked that, wow, this is actually like something that we could do something with, and it's come a long way from me sitting in a car or driving down to Texas to play a tournament and calling me and yeah, it's phenomenal what it's become. And I completely agree. I absolutely love going to events and hearing people say, I listened to the show. I absolutely love it. Thanks for everything. And I mean, we do this for fun, more or less. I mean, it's not like, we're getting big paydays for being in here every Tuesday morning recording this. We pretty much do it for you. And
if you would like to pay us,
sure,
we're interested.
But no, I love it. It's fun. It's great. There's a lot of great information if you just go back and listen to the other 199 episodes. But yeah, it's awesome. I have so much fun doing it.
You're right. I was mistaken. The first one was posted July 4th, 2013.
2013.
So
that had to be one of the first ones.
There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions.
6 questions.
Nailed it.
We should answer those questions again.
And look at that. One of the questions was, how does Eric approach designing courses?
Oh, back in 2013. Awesome.
So
I'm going to go back and listen to that and see if it's the same.
Oh gosh, that's so cool. Well, we could listen to it right now. Hold on.
Oh,
Still the same music.
Same
Wow.
music. That's good.
just wait.
I remember when Clay heard this. Clay, he's like, I don't like the music.
This isn't gonna work, guys.
You're like, Clay, you don't know anything.
Okay, everybody, this is Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, and I'm here with the famous awesomeness Eric McCabe. And thanks for listening to our brand new podcast. It was kind of an idea that Eric and I had tossed around for quite some time, and we finally decided to get out there and do it. Really, I want this to be all about the disc golfer. Eric's going to share some of his experiences at some of the major tournaments, so you guys can kind of know and Was my understand list what goes on at worse these back then? tournaments. And he's going to talk about life on the road as a touring pro. Been doing it for how long? About more than 10 years, right, Eric?
10 years, yeah. This was my 10th consecutive year doing it.
Definitely
Yeah,
on the
and
phone.
So, then, of course, we want to have our Ralphie updates. If you've never heard of Ralphie, I don't know where you are at in the disc golf world, because everybody knows about Ralph, the best disc golf dog in the world. And then,
Absolutely.
Still,
and then we want your
Accurate.
questions. We want to know any questions that you have, whether you're a brand new person that just saw someone playing disc golf and is borrowing a disc, to the guy that's been playing it for years and just wants to improve their game and take it to another level. So we're going to be here for you. And we've got a website, discgolfanswerman.com, and we have a place where you can actually click on the Ask button and ask a question. And we'll be sure to try to get your questions on the air. But let's hurry up and get to the meat of the matter. So let's talk about what just happened, which was the Beaver State Flings.
that's awesome.
That's
So
really
anyway,
cool. Upside,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of podcasts early on are just like, we're just going to do some stuff.
Right.
We'll talk about some things. And like you'd already done a lot of pre-work to get ready
Yeah.
for that. You know, it's not, you expect it to be a way huge difference. And obviously there's an audio quality difference. It's better having cameras and having Eric in the studio. But I mean, it's not like it was bad where you could look back and just,
Was that episode 1?
we knew nothing.
That was episode
That was
1.
episode
We knew zero things.
So yeah, so it's just really cool reflecting back and seeing, and it's still, you guys are the meat of the matter. I thought it was pretty. No,
Meat.
you guys are the meat, the questions, and I know sometimes we get redundant questions, and sometimes people don't quite listen because we get the same question, but we just get new people and new listeners all the time. That there's different ways to talk about the question. But I thank you guys so much that even when I get nervous, I'm like, man, like I turned off the questions. Are we going to get enough questions to have another show? You guys continually send in questions, and I think that's awesome. You love hearing from us, and we love getting your questions for sure.
From all over the world too.
Last
Australia
episode,
and South Africa. That's a really cool
Canada.
one. And then where's Dean from?
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's just really cool.
So to celebrate, I've got a bunch of discs that are like promo disc, and promo meaning we use them in videos, and we've thrown them, and they probably hit the gravel or something, and so they might have a few minor scuffs. Maybe if you walk into an appliance store, it's the dent and scratch section.
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly fine
Refurbished.
disc. Yeah, perfectly fine disc. We just there's a few scuffs on there that we can't put them on the shelf, but man, they still make awesome flyers. Got a handful we're going to give away. We got Sarix, Justice, Harp, Breakout, Ruby, Warrant. So, and we'll get into
Diamond
that
on the bottom.
Actually, let's go ahead and do one where I'm going to tell you how you can win it. We're going to start with a real simple one. We'll do with the Sarix.
Ooh, this
Now-
is a good one too. This
Yeah.
isn't just a Sarix. This is a first run.
First
Sarix.
run.
Is it the one? Oh yeah, first run Sarix.
First
So if you're
run
not familiar, Latitude 64 got into what's called the overmold process, where you have one type of plastic is the plate, another type of plastic is kind of the outer rim. Some people really prefer the feel of that. So they produce some overmold. This was one of the first ones. No,
That's the first one.
Yeah, it was one of the 3. Yeah,
It's the first one we got, and then the Gobi and Bryce came
Right.
shortly after.
and I know when I throw it, it goes fairly straight
Yes.
without hardly a fade. But I know Eric, you enjoy this disc
yeah.
as well.
I actually put it back in the bag not too long ago, and it's very, very straight flyer for me. I have to release it with a little bit of a hyzer, but it will hold that Anheuser line for me as well. It's not overstable, so anytime that there's a headwind, I'm not pulling it out of the bag. But it just kind of stays in the air a little bit longer. It just has a little bit more glide, I think, than what I was throwing before, which was the marshals and shields, kind of going back and forth between those, which I still carry a shield for overstable or if it's windy. And the Seric is just nice because I can trust it on pretty much any line.
Yep.
So
throw it straight. It's going to go straight.
And it feels great in the hand. It really does. And for our last episode listeners, it's not really much of a bead on there. Maybe like a little rounded edge type, slight micro bead on the bottom from where the optoplastic meets the gold line. But man, it feels really nice in the hand. It comes out really smooth.
Yeah.
All right. So the way to win this Latitude 64 Overmold Seric, I want you to go on our YouTube channel and you have to subscribe. Now you have to double click subscribe, because when you subscribe, you'll see a little bell. And if you click it again, there'll be a bell with lines around it. And that means you'll be one of the first you'll be notified first of when we do things. You'll be like, get a message or whatever, because we're going to have a little bit of fun. We want to talk about our new, for 2018, our 2-minute warning giveaways. Sweet. We'll talk a little bit about that here in a second, but you'll want to do that. So subscribe to where you have the little bell with the lines around it. Take a quick screenshot of that and send that to the Disc Golf Answer Man Facebook page, and we will select a winner. You will have until January 2nd to do that, because that's when I'll go through and sort through and pick out a winner. So again, subscribe to YouTube on Dynamic Disc YouTube. Get to where the bell has the lines. Take a screenshot. Send it to Disc Golf Answer Man Facebook Messenger, and make sure you stay subscribed, because we're gonna have some fun with that in 2018. Yeah. Let's get to a few questions.
How many we got? We got a lot.
50 million. So
I'm going to guess like 16.
Good get. Whatever I told you.
Oh.
Anyway. So,
rude.
But first, let's do one that I saw someone post a picture on the Facebook group. Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Drop the. Yes.
High five. So anyway, they took a picture, and I'm going to try to subscribe it for our audio listeners. But maybe Robert, if you can bring that picture up, maybe show your camera, see if they can get a close-up of that. What it is the picture, and a certain company, it's a justice, right? Or the judge?
It's a justice, yeah.
And someone put is emboss a proper way to say it?
Ghost
yeah,
stamp?
it's like a ghost stamp.
A ghost
It's
stamp.
a stamp. I believe they have a hot heat press.
I'm going to get
a
as close
stamper.
as I can.
Yeah.
I think they have a stamper, and if you just do it without foil, it creates a ghost stamp.
So, but the question became, there's you can feel that there's something there.
Yeah, there's a depth to it.
Right. So based on PDJ rules, that would seem to be illegal, but he was wanting some advice, and I thought, well, that would be interesting for Robert and Eric to talk about. So tell us, is that first? Tell us the rule, if you happen to. Do you happen to know it by?
I can get it.
Okay.
It's kind of a gray area, honestly, because I mean you're altering the disc. You are altering the disc, and you're not the manufacturer, so you're not allowed to technically do that. Does it change the flight of the disc? No. I mean, I don't think it's going to change anything.
And that's what the rule is. If you do something that changes the flight of the disc,
and I honestly don't believe it will, because I mean it's small. The stamp is like the size of a $50.
I mean, it's a regular corner stamp, size.
Yeah. So it's small. I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal, honestly. Are you digging for a rule or?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it, but I'm having a hard time right now.
That's fine. So I mean, you give the gist of it from Eric.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I mean, it's. Would I call somebody out for having it in their bag? Absolutely not.
No, I would throw a disc like that. It is essentially, and it actually is, a ghost stamp, right? So same hot stamping process, just without a foil on it.
Right.
And so if adding a hot stamp with a foil or without after the process is illegal, then yes, that would be illegal. I don't think it is, because I don't think that will change the flight in any way, especially not if it's a justice.
No, it's not going to change the flight. I don't believe it'll change the flight.
Cool.
I would say it's perfectly legal.
All right, next question comes from Joey. Love the show. So, Robert, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge McCall.
Hey.
All right.
Creative.
Eric, I make it rain, but I don't play in it.
True.
McCabe.
100%.
And Bobby, don't call me B.O.B. unless I'm dropping bombs over Baghdad.
All right.
Cool Daddy Slick Priest. Yes, I don't like to be called Bob. That Bob's my dad. Right now, not that I don't like my dad, but I'm a junior. He's
I'm
Bob.
calling your
I'm
dad.
Bobby. Yeah. Right now, my home course, Hominy Bends, is the #1 rated course in the world. It is? According to DZ Course Review.
Cool.
There is 3 pads for every hole. What would
Nice.
it take to get you 3 here to give a video review with Eric from the Blues, Robert from the Whites, and Bobby from the Reds? Bonus props if it's luck of the draw and you get the player and associated pad. Nice.
Where is it located?
All expenses paid. Fake. It's where is Harmony Bend? It didn't say. Harmony Bends disc golf. Maybe I can look it up. I mean, it would be cool to do stuff like that. There's just for time's sake, it's hard to do that, and of course,
Missouri.
Paying to go out. Oh, Columbia, Missouri. How far of a drive would that be?
It's about 3.5 hours.
So really,
That's
not
that new
bad.
John Hout course that just went in.
Emporia, Kansas.
I've heard good things about it.
3.5 hours.
Yes, 3.5. Yeah.
Maybe we could drive out there.
I do want to go play it. I've heard great things, and I've when we were headed to New York for Thanksgiving, I wanted to stop and play it then, but it was kind of crappy conditions
Well,
out, so
Joey?
I didn't. But I would love to go play that course.
Maybe it's not that impossible. Maybe we'll have to see if we can do that. Next one comes from Erdinger.
Right.
Hello, Disc Golf Answer Man crew. My question is about the mental game of disc golf. I know EMAC always preaches to have short memory on the course. What about all the good shots we make?
And off
Should
the
we
course.
forget about those?
Yes.
I know sometimes for me, that gets me pumped and gives me the confidence I need to work to park the next one.
I think it depends on who you are, because I know a lot of people, a lot of players I've experienced over the years that are just killing it, and then that gets in their head. Oh man, I'm doing so good. I don't want to blow this round.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why my mindset, navigates toward short memory. Don't worry about what you're doing. Like I've always said, some of my best rounds ever have come from me having no clue what I'm shooting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't like to keep track of my score at all.
Mhm.
Just go and throw. I do, however, like kind of maintaining a mental, I guess, cache of sorts where shots that I can remember vividly that I executed exactly how I wanted to, right? Whether it's a putt or a throw or whatever it needs to be, so that when I am in a situation where I maybe feel unsure or something like that, I think back to this was the time that I did exactly what I wanted to, and it went how I wanted to. I like to keep, probably 5 to 10 of those of a forehand, a backhand, a putt, whatever it is, just to remember back and say, I've done it, then I can do it right now. So for the short memory portion, for me, definitely as it pertains to bad shots or rough or whatever, just don't think about those at all. But I like having those to look back on.
Well, I think that's different than
oh, it's totally different
than what I was kind of referring to as far as, yeah, sure, remembering, good shots, good lines that you hit,
right?
Just for confidence sake.
Sure.
But
yeah, I'm not saying it's one or the other.
I'm saying when you're on hole 12, you can't look back and think, man, I've got 9 birdies today.
That's a good
what
point.
I'm saying.
And I agree with you. Yeah, let that go.
That's because you've got to be in the moment. Your mind has to be when you walk up to that tee pad is like, what do I do at this hole?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, next throw. Not
What's
even
this
hole. This throw.
This throw.
Yeah.
Shot.
Because yes, the putt where you bang the band or you bang the cage, that's going to be there. The putt where you're like, man, it was a sweet 80-foot putt, that's going to be in there. But you've got to stop and say, what do I do right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not what just happened. What am I going to do on hole 14? What do I do right now? How do my form? What disc do I pick to execute this throw right now that's in front of me?
Yep. Yeah.
So, all right, next one comes from Alan. What up, cool daddy, EMAC, and hello, Robert.
Hello.
He put in like 5 H's. I got a friend of mine interested in the sport a few weeks ago, and the first time we went out to play, he tells me that he throws backhand, right hand, but forehand, left-handed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you crazy.
At this moment, I just shake my head and I say, I can't help you, weirdo. Oh, wow.
He could throw 2 discs.
Must be a good friend. Yeah.
If you ace both, you don't even get a score on the
Right.
hole. 0.
My question for you guys is what discs are best for him to throw a forehand, left-hand shot that fades right? Thanks, and who dat?
That fades right.
Wait, what?
So he's saying a forehand turnover is what he's asking
He says
for.
FHLH.
Left-hand forehand, that's right. So, yeah, I mean, anything that's relatively understable would be good for that. Since you're throwing a forehand, you could go from even a little neutral to understable. So, like,
Well,
a convict maybe, because okay, so here's when you throw forehands, you're exerting different spin and speed on the disc than when you're throwing a backhand.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times discs will act a little bit different when thrown forehand than they will backhand. So you don't need something necessarily really understable all the time in order to make a forehand move on an Anheuser necessarily.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables there.
Right. Yeah, it's
And-
hard.
and
It's hard to
it's-
recommend a disc without
it's-
watching him throw.
Yeah. And I would almost, I mean, and this is obviously me, I would recommend working on a right-handed turnover shot as opposed to a forehand turnover shot.
Yeah.
Just
I'm with you.
For there's too many variables that go into a forehand turnover shot that make it a lot more difficult.
Yeah. All right. We've got a lot of discs to give away, so let's do one more. This one we're going to give away the Lucid Breakout. I believe it's Lucid, correct?
It is Lucid.
Lucid Breakout. It's a nice pink Lucid Breakout. Now, the Breakout is considered one of our easy-to-throw discs because it's kind of geared toward. I mean, it is geared toward beginners.
Sure.
Slower arms.
Slower arms, but a lot of people seem to think it's for and no offense, but this is what people think. They could think it's for girls or it's for young children, and it
Juniors.
is. But it's also meant for any beginner. So if you're a 35-year-old man and you're just starting out, give the Breakout a try because it's a very understable driver. It's designed to be easy on the guy that doesn't have much arm speed and doesn't have much experience and probably needs to work on his form a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But that way, because if you were to pick up just about any old disc, it's just going to go left. It's going to go left. You're going to be like, why does it go left? Whereas the Breakout's going to have that understability to where it's going to give a little bit of an S curve. It's going to go to the right a little bit to kind of help you get a little more distance. So
It'll help you perfect your form.
if you've got a friend, if you've got somebody that you're wanting them to get interested in disc golf and you think the Lucid Breakout is good for them, go to discgolfanswerman.com/subscriber, look for the Lucid Breakout form, fill out the form, and we'll pick a name to send out a Lucid Breakout. We're going to keep this one nice and easy just because I want to get this disc out into the hands of a beginner because I don't want someone to pick up a disc and pick up a trespass and think that disc golf is silly or something.
Yeah, I hate this.
Yeah, so Breakout is going to be one of those discs that you can get your hands on as a beginner. So go to discgolfanswerman.com/subscriber, look for the Lucid Breakout link, fill out the quick form. I'm going to have a few questions on there because I like to get information from you guys. And then put in your name and
Like social
all that.
security number,
Yeah, social
your
security,
address,
debit card number,
maiden name,
and
mother's maiden
we'll
name.
get that out to you. Cool?
All of it.
Yeah.
All right, we got a couple of speak pipe questions. Let's see what we got.
What's up, Disc Golf Answer Man crew? This is Mike from Syracuse, New York. I have a couple of questions for you guys today. The first one would be, how important is it to use the same plastic type for putters? I have a practice stack of Prime, but when I'm in tournaments or rounds, I usually putt with Classic Blend. But my budget doesn't exactly allow for me to have a whole stack of Classic Blend judges just to practice with. My second question is, how do you determine progress?
Let's go to the first question real quick.
As far as putters go,
I think
What?
It's like I want to give two scenarios.
yeah,
If your budget allows, I would think the optimal way is to have the plastic that you're
stack.
going to use, a
Mhm.
stack.
mm-hmm.
10 would be a good starting number. Obviously, if you got more is better. But if you can
Right.
if you putt with Classic Blend and you can get your hand on 10 Classic Blend judges, whatever you putt with,
Mm-hmm.
I say go for it.
Right.
If your budget does not allow for it, then yes, grab the primes and do it that. Just know that after a while, when that Classic Blend beats in and those prime judges beat in, depending on what you're putting and how you throw it and stuff like that, there's going to be some slight differences.
Yeah.
Is that
And
correct?
Feel would be the biggest difference.
Feel as well.
Yeah, and release and all that. But something I would recommend you do is go on Facebook, go on one of the marketplace, the Trilogy Marketplace, and just post, hey, I'm looking for Classic Blend judges, and there's a good chance that they're going to be used and beat in. But as far as a practice putter goes, that's going to be just fine.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that's a great way to pick up some cheap discs.
Yeah, in fact, just recently, Robert was trying to dump some of his Wardens, wasn't he? And he had a stack of
I did.
So
Yeah, and it's only just because I've got the run that I really like, And so I wasn't really practicing with these other ones anymore. I figured somebody else could use them.
Yeah, somebody else may love that particular run.
Yeah.
Be looking for them. So.
Yeah. And so, I sold like 12 of them to somebody and at a pretty cheap price because I don't need them anymore, but somebody would like to practice with them. So, yeah, it was great.
But I completely understand sometimes the budget doesn't allow you to go pick up a stack of discs. So pretty much whatever you've got at that point isn't going to be necessarily harmful to your game, but it's I do highly recommend same plastic.
Yep. Absolutely. Next question comes from...
He had two, actually.
My bad. Let's go back. Good call. Second question.
It's strictly based on how you
let me go back
just to practice with. My second question is, how do you determine progress? Is it strictly based on how you feel when you are leaving the round, if you feel like you did better, or if last time you shot 59 and this time you shot a 58, or is it if you're making the same type of shot consistently? Just trying to figure that out, and any insight you guys could provide would be appreciated. Thank you very much, and thanks for everything you guys do.
Cool. I think progress it's a wide term because there's tons of things that you could progressively get better at. It's not just the overall score. It's, because I mean, you got to take weather conditions into play. I've gone out and played on a perfectly calm day, and then gone out the next day and it was windy and shot 5 strokes worse, but played better.
Right.
So you got to take all those variables into consideration. But one thing I do notice is, shots. And when you're coming off the course feeling like, man, I played bad, but you threw some good shots, that's when you can definitely tell the progress. I feel like as soon as you're getting more disappointed in your game, the more progress you're actually getting.
I would agree with that in some ways. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I think the two best ways to measure progress are kind of intangibles. And for me, that's consistency and confidence.
Mm-hmm.
If you are starting to make your shots more consistently, I call that progress. Because, like you said, score could be different from round to round. Even calm days, let's say you go out to Jones East and you shoot 60, and then you go out and the next day and shoot a 58. But you honestly just got really lucky that you got through a couple of trees. Like maybe you missed some shots.
Mm-hmm.
Score can be misleading from time to time. What will be better is if you are improving your consistency with your drives, your approaches, your putts. That's how I think I would best measure progress. And then confidence as well. As you get better, you're going to feel like you can make those shots more consistently. And I think those go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Next one comes from Chuck. I was watching Central Coast disc golf coverage of the BC Open, the
British Columbia.
If you guys like to watch disc golf on YouTube, definitely check out Central Coast Disc Golf and Joe Miz Productions. Yeah. They're two separate people, but excellent disc golf coverage.
Some real bros out there.
He says one of the players putted from his approach disc rather than marking it with a mini, which is common. His toe was touching the back edge of his disc, which caused the front edge to lift slightly.
We call that the Robert McCall.
That's happened to me like probably 5 times lifetime, just once recently when I happened to throw in dumb.
The commentator called foot fault, which is the rule. Or no, he says, which is the rule? ?
Right.
And many would have been placed slightly beyond the approach disc and not affected by the raised edge. Isn't the actual lie on the basket side of the approach disc? I'm just trying to figure this sport out. I appreciate your podcast and have learned a lot. Thank you. So
it's a really good question.
Again, you're whatever you're using to mark your lie. He decided to use the disc that he had just thrown.
He decided not to mark his lie.
He decided to use the disc, whatever. So his foot was touching, obviously, the disc, and when he threw it, he moved the disc. So is that right or wrong? Is that a foot fault?
That would be a foot fault.
That would be a foot fault.
Yep.
And I mean, even if I think he said that if he used a mini marker, would it not have been a foot fault? Well, I mean, his foot placement would have been the same,
right?
Technically, so it's hard to say. It may have been harder to see the mini come up.
Sure,
but
I think that's why we have. And Dixon and I talked about this. He had what was his name? Somebody from the PDJ Rules Committee, Damon, or somebody like that, said he is really pushing for back marking. So if you're watching on video and you can see this, if we're putting toward the camera here right now, we take our mini. Let's just say that this Justice is a mini, and we put it on the leading edge of our disc and pick this disc up. Well, now I've created a different lie because up until this point, this was my lie. Once I mark this is my lie, right? So they could be different. If we back mark the way that they do in golf, you take, for them it's a coin, but for us a mini.
Well, it's a little different.
It's
because
different.
They are putting the ball directly back where it was, so they're not moving the lie.
Right, but what I'm saying is it's the same lie if you put your mini here and then like slide the disc out. So that's something that they're talking about. Maybe they'll do.
Wait, they're talking about putting the mini here, or are they talking about putting it in front of the disc?
It would be this. This is the lie here. So then the mini or the disc goes here. If you want to reuse this disc, you put the disc there.
That's
and
weird.
set that down. But it would make a uniform lie instead of changing in between.
Sure.
Don't know if it'll happen or not, but all in all, if they had put a mini out in front, yes, this point would have been behind the mini, but who knows where they would have placed their foot if they did put a mini down. So best thing to do for me when I putt is I keep my foot at least a couple inches behind the disc just so that doesn't happen. And when I throw, I step on the edge on purpose and don't get to get my eagle too.
Exactly.
Rookie mistake.
And I don't use a mini.
Yeah, you
often.
really.
I mean, I
rarely
do.
carry one.
I'll use a mini if I'm putting, but if I'm throwing an approach in the fairway, the only time I'm using it is if I'm, OB and creating a new lie, or I want to use that disc again. That's it.
True.
All right, so if you follow us on YouTube or Twitter, a lot of times I like to do polls just to kind of get see what people think about certain things. And one of the questions I asked was, which do you prefer for putting? 1, baseline plastic, or 2, premium plastic? What do you guys think? What was
Baseline plastic.
Baseline plastic. What about you, Robert?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Okay,
That again.
fired.
I'm really sorry. I was I gotta.
He was tweeting to
No,
try to get that.
No, I
I was trying to win.
I'm sorry. I got a work thing that I thought I needed to respond to immediately. I
that's
didn't,
fine.
but
You're
I'm
fine.
sorry.
Which do you prefer for putting?
Baseline plastic.
It's a poll that I.
Yes.
Baseline.
I use classic hard Wardens.
No, I'm not asking you. I'm.
The majority.
I'm really sorry, guys. I thought I needed to respond. I
That's
missed
fine.
it. I'm sorry.
I put a poll out on YouTube and I asked people what did they prefer for putting, either baseline or premium plastic.
Oh, I would assume they would say baseline because it's what everybody
percentage
does.
do you think out of 1,000 votes? How high do you think that is that people will baseline?
90%.
I'll give you within 3.
96.7.
Okay.
I think that's a little too high, but I'm going to say 88%.
83.
Yeah.
83% said baseline plastic. So baseline is going to be your DX, your prime plastic, your classic. What is it in Discraft?
D.
D plastic.
Pro D.
Pro D. So it's going to be kind of that grippier type plastic. So that would kind of make sense that you would want your base. Not that premium plastic's a bad thing to do, but it seems that for the most part, that's the better way to do it. One guy said he says, I putt with baseline plastic because of the grip. I feel like I can get more spin with a fan grip on baseline plastic. Any approach shot will be with the premium to keep my baseline plastic from getting beat up, which makes a lot of sense. A lot of times Eric says, putt with your putting putter and throw with your throwing putter. Don't mix those
don't
up.
throw your putting putter.
Yeah.
Don't you do it.
Someone says, seems silly to pay a couple extra bucks just to smash it into a basket, tree, or whatever your goal is targeted. Plus, the baseline feels better in the hand. So he's saying
you're not wrong.
Yeah, you don't want to pay more to beat up your premium plastic. So,
although another person could argue that it's more durable.
Right.
One guy says baseline plastic, baseline for a more consistent feel and cheaper to buy. I like.
Do you
to
have
buy
anybody on here that says premium?
Premium. Yeah, I got one.
Okay.
I like to buy putters in pairs and 20 beats 30 or 40 each time.
Yeah.
Either way, it is up to the player's preference on which is more comfortable. Yes. Here's a premium. Now, sometimes what it is not everybody who votes always puts a comment.
Obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
Premium plastic, one guy says, I carry a 0 medium and classic blend Mercy, but my 2 gold line Mercies are my go-to. Not the best putter, so having a disc that feels the same even after 4 years of use is awesome.
Wait, what? So he has baseline plastic?
But yeah, he has baseline, but my 2 gold line Mercies are my go-to, not the best putter.
Maybe those are his go-to
they're
throwers.
No, he's saying they're not the best putter. So having a disc that feels the same. I don't know what he's saying.
I'm confused.
Premium plastic. I get sick of gouging and cutting my baseline. I like to keep my disc feeling the same as long as possible.
Yeah.
That's one argument.
Me too. That's why I put a new one in every other hole.
One guy says, I honestly don't feel or putt with
9.
any major difference, so I go with more durable plastic.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
I just mentally I don't like that plastic hitting the chains. I feel like it has more tendencies to slide through. I know it doesn't probably, but
cool.
If you don't think you're going to make it, then you're not going to make it. So if you're ever hesitant on something like that, don't do it.
Exactly.
All right, let's head back to the questions. So again, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, and be part of some of these polls because it's interesting to see people's feedback. All right, so this question is from Junior. I was just wondering, is there any winter precautions as far as discs you guys do or suggest? So is there anything you do with your discs knowing that the weather's going to get colder?
That's funny. I just had a conversation this morning with Derek Savory.
Yeah.
And
meat.
Yes. And we completely disagreed with each other.
Oh,
on
really?
something, which I guess he would have more knowledge on winter play.
Yep.
But
he just thought he got smarter that he shaved off his beard.
Yeah, I think so.
That makes you less wizard-like.
Yes,
just so we're on the same page.
It absolutely does. That's why I argued with him. He says that he hears all these people saying, bring your discs in at night. But no, you shouldn't because, what did he say? He said, because if your discs are warm, when they hit the snow, they melt the snow.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, it's not like I have a heater on my discs.
I keep my discs right next to the heater.
The problem is if I leave my bag in my car overnight and it gets down to 20 degrees outside,
they're going to be so brittle.
It hurts when you throw them.
Yeah. Yes. It hurts your fingers so bad.
And it's awful. And they're so rigid. And I personally think when your disc is like that, it changes the flight of the disc. So you get more inconsistent flights out of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sure, your bag's going to be cold by hole 12 anyway, but at least you get 12 holes of consistent flight.
Agreed. I like bringing mine in as well because I place a tremendous priority on keeping my hands warm during a cold round.
Mm-hmm.
And if the first throw out of the gate, what I've got to do is take a cold disc out of my bag. Yeah, you're
Might as well
really
go
upset
back
at
home.
that point. Yeah, just all right, guys. I'm going to leave that disc.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. Yeah, I would put mine inside, but that's just me.
Yeah, no,
All right, second part. This is my favorite course is Pan here in Emporia. Oh, Peter Pan.
Nice.
Is there a reason the roughs (parentheses) are being cleaned up so much? Yes, it makes it easier, but I noticed hole 6 used to be a tunnel dart or bust. I missed the tunnel and ended right alongside the tree line, but I noticed at least 7 seventh tree marked to be
there's 7 trees to be marked to be removed.
7 trees marked to be removed, which will open that area up.
Yeah.
Just wondered your thoughts on that.
That's a city thing. It's not like we're going in there and saying, hey, let's make this hole easier by removing these trees. A lot of the time that they're removing the trees is for longevity of the rest of the trees around. I know that they went out and kind of raised the majority of the cedars in town, like took out the bottoms of them and just really cleaned it up. And I think it's a little more healthy for the tree. And majority of the stuff that they take out is all dead. It's all stuff that's dead, and it's for safety reasons, I suppose. But we don't really have any say in that, unfortunately. If we did, I would say leave it until it falls.
And I want to brings up a good point. I'm putting my elbows on the table, so you know I'm serious.
That means they're going to keep it real.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it real. So on the episode with Zoe and Dustin, we talked about pay to play.
Oh, nice.
Right, and that's always seemed to be a area of contention with people.
Yeah.
Because some people say I'm not going to pay to play disc golf. Disc golf should be free. Yes, I said that sarcastically because I know
what side Bobby's on.
I know. I get what you're saying. But this is one of those examples.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's in a public park, there are some things we don't get a say on. If the park wants to come and tear something up and it ruins hole 12, it ruins hole 12.
If they want to come and build something and remove the entire disc golf course, they can actually
do that. But on a pay-to-play park, they control what happens to the course. And to me, is that an argument for pay-to-play? I think it kind of does tip the scale a bit to say pay-to-play would be a good option because you have a say in what happens to the course.
And then you don't have people having a picnic in your fairway.
Yeah, that's true. Gosh. All right, so next one comes from Richard. Richard. Hi, Disc Golf Fancy Man, Eric, and Robert.
You are the disc golf answer man.
Nice. My question is about my home course here in Norway. It's a relative short par 3 and only 67 meters, but it has a severe 90 degrees dog leg right with a 5-meter high ridge 4 meters in front of the basket.
Wow.
And the basket is heavily guarded with trees, with a mando tree in the corner on the right side. And because of the trees around the tee, it's just impossible with any shot, right hand or left forehand, to get anywhere close in one shot, which I feel is something that determines if a hole is a par 3. I mean that if a hole is in no way accessible, even with a perfect shot, should it then be a par 4?
Par's irrelevant.
True. Very true. Holes like that, that's one of the difficulties that we have in disc golf right now, is that there are holes that can be considered like a par 3.5, where you're not going to reach it in one. It's either too far or too wooded or whatever.
Kind of a tweener.
Yeah, to reach it in one. But if you get a 4, like you're not really happy with a 4, most people should get a 3, right? For me, that's kind of poor design. I would also suggest this, and I'm not slighting your disc golf abilities or anything like that, but I wonder if you just haven't seen the right person throw that shot yet, because maybe there is a perfect shot that could get there, but that you just haven't seen before, because people in the area either can't throw it or don't know to throw it. Not to say that I could or anything, I'm just curious about that.
However, there are absolutely holes out there that
totally
are kind of how he explained.
Totally. I would still call it a par 3 simply because of the distance, but just knowing that that's a par 3, I'm not going to attack for a birdie because I could get in trouble. Instead, I'm just going to, play to the corner, throw it up over that ridge, play for my 3.
See, when I first started playing, everything was par 3. Don't care how far the hole was. Everything was always par 3.
And it's just for ease of scoring.
Yeah. And
that's all it is.
That's what I mean, to this day, when I'm adding up my scorecard, I go off par 3s because it's so easy for me to add it up that way.
Yep. I agree.
All right, so we still got a lot of discs to give away. We also have our Ranger H2O to give away. So guys, keep listening to find out about that. But right now we're going to give away a Lucid Warrant.
Lucid,
nice red Warrant. Lucid Warrant. So give us the elevator pitch of a Lucid Warrant, Robert.
You got it. I really like the Lucid Warrant because it's extremely beginner friendly and understable. And if you are learning to throw discs, you need something that's more understable to get a straighter flight out of. This is a disc that I think both beginners and more advanced players alike could use for different reasons. Beginners are going to get a straighter flight out of it that maybe has a gentle fade to the left, nothing crazy. More advanced players are going to be able to put it out on a hyzer, let it flip up to flat and ride to the right, or just smooth it on a really soft hyzer and just let it go flat. Discs like this are fantastic in the woods because you get to play on a release angle that you're usually more used to, like a hyzer angle, and then just let it work without having to throw it really hard or force an angle out of it. I think that's why discs like this are great.
Excellent. All right, so to win this warrant, pay attention. You've got to post on your Facebook feed. The Disc Golf Answer Man podcast wants to give me a warrant. That's what I want you to post. And then I want you to take a screenshot and, again, send that to Disc Golf Answer Man Facebook Messenger. Facebook Messenger is going to be so full of pictures and stuff like that, but I love it. If you want this warrant, this Lucid Red warrant.
Sweet stamp, by the way.
On your Facebook feed, put the Disc Golf Answer Man podcast wants to give me a warrant. Take a Snapchat. Take a screenshot and send it to Disc Golf Answer Man Facebook Messenger. You have, with all these, you have until January 2nd. Let's get one more. Let's get a speak pipe question. This is the last speak pipe of the year.
Whoa. What?
Hey, Robert. Slick Breeze McCabe. It's JP from South Africa here. John Pat from Proto Disc Golf. I'm responding to the Christmas wishes call, which is probably a little bit.
I don't know if I can get that. Something went wrong with that. I'm sorry, John Pat. Let me see.
Hey, now, but I'm still going to send it in any case. Currently, I've only got 4 discs in my bag because I borrow them out to newbies and I never get them back. And so yeah, 4 discs is what I'm throwing at the moment.
Yeah, I'm going to have to stop that because I'm afraid that people are going to be listening to their cars and it's going to tweak their speakers. So I apologize, John Pat. Something went wrong with the call-in and it's hitting the highs way too much. And I don't want to screech in people's ears if they're listening via headphones. So apologies for that.
Do they call that sibilance? Is that right? I think there's a word for it. Go ahead.
I have no idea.
Yep.
So let's go to a question. Let's go to Joe. Hey guys, great work with podcasts and thanks for everything you do. You may have covered this already, but I am interested to know how you guys feel about artificial turf tees versus standard concrete tees. I have enjoyed the feel and grip on the few that I've played from, and also think they look much nicer on the course than big slabs of concrete. Do you like playing from turf tees? Eric, have you designed any courses with turf tees? Are they more or less difficult to install than concrete, and how does the cost compare?
We need to just record you answering this.
The same question.
Yes.
I have not. I don't have any courses out there currently with turf tees. I like turf tees. I think they're amazing. I know it's a European standard for the most part. Majority of the courses over there all have turf tees. The problem with turf tees is the maintenance involved with them. If done correctly the first time, they can go a little longer without having to be maintained and put more sand on it and whatever the variables may be. But with concrete, it's easier to talk to a city and be like, hey, you pour this slab of concrete, you're good for about 15, 20 years.
Right.
They're not really interested in
yearly maintenance.
More than yearly maintenance.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it depends on how it is. Plus, you get wear and tear. You got to replace them after a while. I love them. Don't get me wrong. If I had a course at my house, if I had like a private course, I would love to have turf tees on it if I had somebody to maintain them.
Right.
But right now,
Sorry, guys.
right now the standard is concrete. I mean, it is what it is for the most part. I mean, I love turf, and if I could put turf on all of my courses, I would. But it's hard to convince a city to do that.
Right.
So,
excellent. Next question comes from Corbin. What are your thoughts on players constantly pulling out of tournaments? There is a player in my area who has a habit of not finishing tournaments. If he is not on the lead card after the first round, or if his final round is not going as well as he wants, he DNFs and takes the 999 round.
Doesn't he get an 888?
He should.
He should. The TD, unless he's friends with the TD or something.
Yeah, it's TD discretion, but still.
This has happened on about a third of his tournaments over the past few years.
God, that's a lot.
Is it someone wanting to keep their rating high, or just someone that knows that can't win, so they bail before the tournament is over?
Lame.
That's super weak to me.
Yeah,
I have we talked about this a little while ago. I've DNF'd one tournament before. It was because I knew I wasn't going to be able to play the final 9, but I still wanted to play the tournament. And in case I didn't get to the final 9, what can you really do?
Mm-hmm.
But I had work obligations. I couldn't miss. And so that's the only one that I DNF'd, but I still cashed because I did make the final 9. So anyway, the rest of it, man, if your round's going poorly, guess what? It's disc golf. Sometimes you have bad rounds.
Mm-hmm.
That gives you no excuse to quit. I mean, if that's how you're going to handle it, you're never going to succeed as highly as you could if you just stuck it out and learned from those bad rounds. Man, people that quit for non-injury reasons really bother me.
Yeah.
Because you're learning nothing. You're saying I'm too weak to finish, and that frustrates me personally.
Well, I think what frustrates me more is if that tournament is full and you're keeping
you took somebody's
playing that event, and all you're going to do is quit. I mean, that's lame.
Yeah, unless we're talking medical emergency,
family
work
emergency.
Yeah, work obligation that you are there or you lose your job. I guess I understand that for sure, but otherwise, man, I really don't have much sympathy for people who quit tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't do it. Just play. Like if it's going to go poorly on your rating, you earn that. That's part of the beauty of the rating process. Is it talks about where you're at, and at that tournament you are not playing as well as your rating says, so that needs to reflect that for you.
Maybe PDGA should do a new rule on that. Instead of the 888, you get par plus 4 the rest of the way, and you get whatever that rating turns out
I'd
to
be all over that.
That'd be cool.
And then it won't drop because of the 2.5 standard deviation.
Yep.
Yes. Oh, that would be awesome. Got a 300 rated round on your
That's going to be hard to shake.
Yeah. You're not gonna survive that for a year.
Yeah.
All right, so another easy, well, actually they call it on the Latitude 64 line, they call it easy to use, is the Latitude 64 Diamond.
Yeah.
I know
Shine
a lot
bright.
of beginners, a lot of people that don't really throw very far, they really love the diamond. It's a very not a what is it a very understable or just
It's very
very
understable.
Pretty darn
understable
understable.
I would say
disc.
it's a step below the breakout, even.
Yeah.
As far
Like
as
more
stability,
understable?
more understable
Yes.
than a breakout.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So more
This is
understable than
like
breakout.
this is like your junior, your beginner, your never picked up a disc and thrown it.
Yeah.
This is what I would recommend that they would throw.
And that's in what plastic is that?
This
that
is in the retro line.
retro, which is their baseline plastic.
Baseline
So,
plastic.
good stuff for beginners to try out. So if you're looking for somebody that just started out, you got the diamond, which is a good beginner disc, and then the retro, which is more of a baseline plastic, so it's not going to be quite as expensive as your premium plastic. So all around perfect for beginners. Maybe something that they grow out of, or maybe that's something that they just they really like the disc and they want to move up to a premium plastic. So
it's a good seller for Latitude, by the way. They sell a lot of diamonds,
they sell
a
lot of
whole lot.
diamonds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they like to shine a lot, like them. Shine bright like a diamond.
you did it. You really did it.
So on this one, I want you to fill out a form. So you're going to go to discgolfanswerman.com/subscriber, and you're going to put your name, and you're going to go to the link that says Ruby. And then you'll fill out a few questions and put your name and email. And
why would they go to Ruby?
The link
Why
that
wouldn't
says
they go
diamond.
to Diamond?
I have no idea because I'm reading the wrong giveaway. So go to the one that says
give
diamond.
away as a pair.
Hey, I like that
They
idea.
kind of go together.
Yeah, because the Ruby is the mid range.
This is the putter.
It's actually the putter.
It's the putter.
Yeah, the pearl is the mid range.
The pearl, that's right. So it's the putter. So you're going to have a driver and a putter, and it also is in the retro
and it feels good.
plastic.
It feels really
it's
nice.
an
in the hand.
understable putter for beginners, so that's a good. Oh, so okay. So go to the link that says Ruby Diamond. I'm gonna put this in my notes so I don't forget. And together with Diamond. So go there and put your name and answer a couple questions, and we'll select the winner. And if you've got somebody that is beginner disc golf, if you got a young kid or somebody else who's a beginner, see if you're gonna win a Ruby and a Diamond for them. All right. Just a few more questions to wrap it up for the year.
Wrap it up.
Episode 200. This one's from Brandon. Hey, guys. Oh, and we still have the Ranger H2O to give away.
Mm-hmm.
This one's from Brandon. Hey, guys, I got 2 questions for you. Robert, I have noticed that you have your hair. It's always perfectly combed. And I was wondering, does your hair ever get messed up and around? And if so, does it affect your game?
Super good question.
Maybe this is the key to your 1,000 PDJ rating.
If I would just wear hats and keep it out of the way.
Yep.
Honestly, if it's really windy outside, it just goes all over the place, and there's nothing I can do about it. I try to. It's mostly just I just try and keep it out of my face, because after that, like if it doesn't look good, then who cares? I'm just trying to not get distracted by it hitting my eyes and stuff, because it's long. Like I just got a haircut, but I mean it's pretty long.
How long have you been styling it and not just kind of like, meh, I'm just gonna go out in public like this? Because
Super good question.
Last
When was I
night
born? No.
we were watching Cedar Hill Chill.
Oh yeah, that would have been
2014.
14 is right.
I think
It was right. It was right before knee surgery.
You were not playing.
Oh, 13 then.
Maybe 13. I don't know. I remember I was playing. You were following my card, Johnny McRae's card, the lead card you were following. I think
That's right.
It was myself, Johnny, Cody Custard. I don't remember.
That
who
was
else,
14. It was right before knee
but-
surgery.
okay. But I remember seeing you, and we were watching, and D goes, "Who's that guy in the team shirt?" I'm like, "Oh my God, that's Robert McCall."
Yep.
So Bobby's got to pull that up at some point and look at it. And
I think I did was that the one you
it's
had
funny.
the monster putt?
No, that was the one I actually played in.
no,
Oh.
no, he didn't play in this one. He was just
okay, I'm
following our
sorry.
group.
That okay, so at that point I was just kind of sweeping it to the side, but not really putting much stuff in it. Maybe a little bit just so it would stay, but if it didn't, whatever. Because I think that's what I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were dark times.
Okay, so enough of the hair on the.
Yeah, I mean he asked about it.
I
So
know
I'm
this
just,
isn't the hair disc golf hair podcast.
Disc
Why not?
golf answer hair.
Oh yeah, why not?
dude, don't discriminate against me because you don't have hair and you have a sweet beard. Okay?
Bald is beautiful.
I agree. Fortune favors the bald. That's what I've always said.
His second question is: do you guys ever think of making a video of a dynamic disc starter pack challenge that includes you guys playing cows around and all of you guys having to use the 3 disc starter pack? Maybe place some bets or punishment challenge for the last place. Tell us what you guys think. As always, keep it real. I don't know if that particular idea has come up, but we've had some different ideas, switching each other's bag or one guy picking the other discs and they have to play with. It really comes down to a matter of time and priorities. So this would be a cool, fun thing to do, but we have a lot of other projects. Eric's designing courses. I'm making video. Robert's doing his hair. Just all kinds of different priorities.
Not on work time.
Oh,
Okay.
No. Okay. So why do you have that stuff up in your office?
I
then?
don't.
Just
I was going to say, you liar.
No, I'm kidding. So yes, we've thought about fun things like that, and I would love to do it. And maybe we will, but sometimes it just doesn't hit. It's not high on the priority of other things to happen. That would be kind of interesting though with the starter pack.
Yep.
Alex asks, "Hey guys, I just started playing this amazing sport we call disc golf only about 3 months ago."
See, it's a sport. Doug's
Sport, he
wife.
said so.
Yes. Was that this episode or last?
That was
episode?
last
Last
episode, I
episode?
think.
Anyway, I go with about 10 rounds played a month. Whoa. He says, I'm addicted. I favor a forehand and found myself using a felon as my go-to disc. The problem is that I'm so dependent on the disc, I'm using it for every forehand shot I come across. My question to you is, I'm in the hunt for a finesse forehand disc for upshots. Putters and mids doesn't matter. Any recommendation? I really don't think using a felon for less than 100 feet upshot is the best thing for my game. You guys help me so much by listening to this Golf Answer Man. So, what is a finesse forehand disc?
I think the Suspect's a really good one. It's got some decent stability to it, and it actually feels really good in the hand as far as a forehand shot goes.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people that throw that disc for approaches from about 100 to maybe 220, 230.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that range.
Yeah, when you use something that spins slower like that.
Mm-hmm. And it's definitely got a slower flight to it.
Yeah.
So I
Just
think
it's a little bit more
Suspect,
forgiving, yeah.
it's going to be a little less overstable than the Felon, which is I think what you're looking for if you're looking for something more of a finesse.
Yeah.
And then obviously EMAC Truth. I mean, come on.
I have seen a lot of good EMAC Truth forehand shots for sure. Seriously, they're
I know.
not by you, but
of course not.
but that's because you don't throw them.
Every time I do, though, they're good.
Yeah, that's true. I would say the Verdict would be a good one too. It's got good stability for a forehand and usually a nice flat top on it. So
yeah.
All right. So one of the fun things that we're doing here is I have a number that you guys can text. So if you want to be part of giveaways or surveys, stuff like that. So text me at 321-265-3426.
DGAM.
Or 321-265-DGAM. DGAM. If you've already texted me and to give me information, you are in the Disc Golf Answer Man address book. If you have not yet put yourself in the address book, text me hello, and we will get your name in there and have some fun with that. Also, a lot of people, when they watch the videos, I'm assuming they start figuring out that I like the chill hop or hip hop style music.
Right.
And a lot of times on our
Disc Golf Adventures?
Yes, Disc Golf Adventures. We'll get comments as people say, "Oh, what song is that? What music is that? Well, what is that?" So I thought, on Spotify, I'm going to make a DGAM Jam, the GAM Jams playlist.
Dang.
Now, they're not the exact songs because of licensing reasons, but they are very similar chill hop, I like to call it,
In that
songs.
genre, yeah.
In that genre. So if you are on Spotify and you want to listen to what we like to listen to, go on Spotify and search for DGAM Jams, and you'll see the Disc Golf Answer Man logo, and follow that. And it's got about 19 songs on there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like that genre, if you don't like that genre, don't worry about it. Just move on. But if you like those kind of jams, follow that, and I will add music to it. And you can kind of jam out to the same kind of music that I like to put in videos.
Yeah.
Cool?
I heard 2018 was going to be the year of speed metal for the Disc Golf Adventures.
I'm not sure where you heard that from.
Oh, okay. It was just rumor. It's just rumor mills,
Scuttlebutt.
That's
next one from
good
Brad.
use of scuttlebutt, man.
Came from Brad. One of the most important things to me about disc golf is that they are free to play. I've never paid to play disc golf and would have a hard time justified doing so. How do you feel about pay-to-play courses? That was last episode.
No,
wasn't
that was
this
Was
one.
that episode?
Yeah.
So just rewind, and you'll hear my thoughts on it. Unless you guys have anything to add.
I'm all for pay to play.
Same.
Yeah.
I
Okay, good stuff.
encourage it actually.
You just rewind and you'll learn.
We'll see more resources put into the course for sure. I like that.
Next one's Reed. Hey guys, I've been looking for a disc to throw around with my dog, and I came across the Bite by Latitude 64. My pupper is a 50 to 60 pound golden doodle,
Yeah.
and he has chewed through just about everything. Will the disc last? Is there a buyback program for products you want to try out? Oh, I know there's a buyback program for products you want to try out, but I obviously can't send back a chewed up disc. No.
You are correct.
Thanks again, guys. And this is back probably listening when when Ralph was had his hip thing. He says praying for Ralph.
No. Well, Ralph.
How is Ralph doing?
He's doing good. He's still a little limpy, but he got out and played Hops and Heisers last week.
He was able to walk around the whole time?
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
So you can't bring back a chewed up disc, Latitude 64. But I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, I don't know how hard of a chewer your dog is, but I do know that the Latitude 64 Bite is a very durable plastic, and
it's optoplastic.
And I've heard from other dog owners that out of all the discs they bought for their dog, this is the one that has lasted the longest.
Right.
Look, if your dog just is laying down, just gnawing on that disc, he's going to tear it up. Definitely going to tear it up. But the longevity of that particular disc is pretty amazing.
I agree.
Actually, for just playing catch, and not that I know because Ralph hates frisbees. So.
I have one for Walter, and as long as you're just using it to play catch, I mean, you almost couldn't see that he had bitten it ever.
And then put it away.
Right. Yeah. If you leave it, especially with Walter, because
dog beds.
Dude, Walter shredded his dog. I'll show you a picture later on. I mean, it's just him surrounded by foam and stuffing, just like, I did it. Check it out. Freaking Walter.
You're never leaving me again.
Yeah, that's right. Never leave me alone. But yeah, if you just leave him laying there, sure, he'll chew it up. But if you're just tossing it and then you put it away, really, really good and durable for that.
And it's PDGA approved.
It is.
Yes, and I know that, I don't know if Ron Kahn still does it, but I believe he used to throw it.
Bryce Longerbone throws them as well.
Dusty does too.
Awesome. All right, so we got 2 more discs to give away and a Ranger H2O. Let's first do the Westside discs Harper. And this is actually a mega soft, so very soft plastic.
Taco time.
So tell us, Robert, about the Harp.
The Harp, I think, has gotten a bump in popularity due to Ricky Wysocki's prolific use of it. He throws these all over the place. A lot of times, I guess mostly just on forehands. He'll throw on backhands some as well. But this is just a really good stability for an approach disc. It's not going to go too far most of the time. It doesn't have a whole lot of glide. But it does have great stability that you can just, for us right-hand, backhand throwers, hang it out to the right and then just let it fall in left. It's mega soft plastic. Plastic is going to stick when it hits the ground. It's not going to skip. Not very prone to that. And so I love the Harp. I use the Slammer personally right now just because I like the feel a little bit better. But before that, I was throwing a Harp in that slot.
All right, so how this is hopefully you have a pen and paper from right now on how to win all the other discs. This is how you win the Westside Discs Harp. You have to or follow Dynamic Discs on Instagram. So you have to go follow DD on Instagram. Now, if you're already a follower, you can be in it, but you again have to take a screenshot showing that you follow Dynamic Discs. Send that screenshot to the Disc Golf Answer Man Facebook Messenger, and from there I will select a winner. As with all the others, you have until January 2nd, so you have a little bit of time. If you're listening to the episode after January 2nd, I will have already picked the winners, and you don't have a chance. And you could
still follow.
Well, yes, still follow.
Please do that,
please, because we will do more giveaways in the future. So again, go follow Dynamic Discs on Instagram. Take a screenshot showing that you're following. Send it to Disc Golf Answer Man Facebook page, not group. If you post any of this on the Disc Golf Answer Man group,
you're DQ'd.
You owe me a disc.
You're done.
You send me a disc because I'm telling you, Disc Golf Answer Man page.
Well, to be fair, you said send a message. I don't think you can send a message on the group.
I bet you if I didn't say that, someone would post it on the group.
Yeah.
Is this the message you were talking about?
Somebody will still do it.
So anyway, get yourself a Westside Discs Mega Soft Harp. All right, a few more questions and we're done, guys. This one from Justin. Hey, guys, I know on a previous episode you spoke on course design and safety as it is regards to trees near the tee pad.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping to hear you expand on this topic of safety as it relates to your own personal experience on the following elements: rubber matting tee pads, wood framed tee pads, and even courses that border electric fencing barbed wire.
Whoa.
Sounds like this guy's had some experience with that. So obviously the barbed wire, not very safe.
It's not safe.
Maybe don't.
Well, I mean, sometimes you have to.
But it's not
honestly,
safe.
like I mean, like Olpe has it. Chase County has a hole that has it. To be fair, on those particular holes, we do get an extended rule, so to speak, from the PDGA that allows players to take 2 meters off of it as opposed to the 1. So they
don't shock themselves.
Well,
yeah.
Barbed wire, so they don't.
Oh, barbed wire. I'm sorry, not that.
So they don't.
Yeah.
Die.
So rubber matted,
Dead.
rubber matting tee pads.
Like fly pads type things.
I'm assuming if it
pads,
gets wet, the slipperiness is that
they
what
are.
you're talking about?
They can be. But let's face it, concrete can be slick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Asphalt, anything can be slick when it's wet.
A lot of the tournaments, at least the ones I've been involved with, I know that if it's been raining and they know they have rubber tee mats, you're given the option to tee off from the side.
Anytime I've played a tournament that has rubber pads, they usually still give the option, regardless of weather.
Yeah.
So if there's a rubber pad, they give you the pad plus.
Yeah, the
natural.
Memorial is one of those.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rubber pads out there.
Well, the Memorial, they give you there's concrete tees, and then they know how bad those are, so they let you throw off to the grass too.
Yeah.
And then wood frame tee pads. I'm assuming because maybe you might fall off and twist an ankle or something like that.
Termites.
Maybe.
Oh.
I think it's more the.
I can't tee off this. There's termites.
I think more the elevation.
The elevated part.
Yeah.
But I mean, you take the wood away, it's still an elevated tee pad.
Yeah.
So elevated tee pad should go into that category as well.
All right, let's give away that last disc. What is it?
Justice.
A
Classic
Justice.
soft justice.
Classic soft, more softness. So, Eric, tell us first about the Justice, and then what variations of it being classic soft.
Super overstable.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. I mean,
Next question.
yeah.
I mean,
No, it's a mid when it came out was very popular, and I think it still is very popular. It's in my opinion the most overstable mid range on the market.
Right.
Like I don't know of another one that's more overstable than this. Like I've got one in the bag, and it doesn't come out very often. It comes out if I know I need to go left or if there's a vicious headwind, and even then, I may not even throw it. But
yeah.
it's for certain people it is an absolutely great disc. I know a lot of players will throw it for forehands on approaches. If you have a massive arm, I've seen people do some pretty wonderful things with it. The classic soft, I'm not a big fan of the softer plastic, especially in like a mid range. I prefer like the Lucid or the Fusion, more durable plastic, something that's going to last a little bit longer. I know a lot of people just absolutely love this softer plastic for more absorbing hits. It won't skip as far. And one thing I know it's great for is if you're playing in the rain, the grip of it comes out a little bit better. So
Yep.
Good disc though.
all right, excellent. So now,
Everybody could use a Justice.
everybody,
Yeah.
everybody could use a little Justice.
Ooh.
Um,
Oh wow.
so this one we're going to go back to YouTube because we're going to build up the YouTube subscribers. So I want you to go to Dynamic Discs YouTube, click on that bell or tap on the bell, tap it on again so that to make sure that it's got the little lines so that you are notified when we upload something. Take a screenshot. If you're already subscribed, that's wonderful. Prove it. Take a screenshot of you subscribing.
Prove
And
it.
send it to the Disc Golf Answer Man Facebook Messenger. We're gonna have a lot of messages there again. One more time.
One more time.
Take a go subscribe to Dynamic Disc
Take
on
a
YouTube.
subscribe.
Take a screenshot showing you're subscribed. Send it to the Disc Golf Answer Man Facebook Messenger.
Page,
January 2nd,
not group.
not group, the page. January 2nd,
2020.
2018.
Oh.
I will pick a winner.
We're playing the long game.
All right, guys, 2 more questions, and we're going to give it when we're done, and we're going to give away a Ranger H2O.
Whoa.
This one from T-Rod. What is your opinion on non-sponsored players choosing to only throw a certain brand of... Whoa. It's like we've heard these
I
questions
know.
before.
Well, we didn't even hear a question. We just talked about
I
it.
know. I choose to only throw Trilogy in large part due to the Disc Golf Answer Man podcast and everything Dynamic Disc has done via social media to help grow the sport and expand the reach of disc golf as a sport. Thanks for everything to do. P.S. Robert is a cool guy. Thanks for autographing my disc.
Thanks, man.
Nice. So was it this episode or last episode?
Last
episode. So go back to episode 199, and I go on a rampage.
He does.
Yeah.
Like that game from the 90s.
I mean, I keep it real.
Super real.
Like rerun real.
Like
The realest of the
he
real.
threw things.
I threw things about only wanting to throw one brand, even if you're not a sponsored player. Basically, I say, do you.
You do you.
You do you. Why don't you be
T-Rod.
you?
Come on, let it go.
I be me.
And I'll be me.
Just let it
Just
go.
let it go.
Just let it be.
Remember the shirts? You be you.
Last question of episode 200. Last question of episode 200. I said that already. Of the year 2017.
Whoa.
What we're doing, guys, is this is going to be released December 20th, and that's it for the year. We're going to take a break. We're going to have fun. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays. Whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate during the season, let me be me and you be you.
Yeah.
And do your thing.
Yeah, have a great holiday season.
Have a great holiday season, and we will see you in 2018. But we're going to take a break and let us do our thing for the holidays. So before we ask the last question and get to the Ranger H2O, I want to talk about the 2-minute warning. So what we're going to do.
I'm like, we're on pins and needles over here.
Eric and Robert have no idea. It was an idea that I'd brainstormed with Anthony and Devin. So what we're going to do is on Instagram or whatever, I'm not sure exactly which, it could be on any social media channels. Now that YouTube allows us to chat with our followers, Instagram, maybe Twitter, I don't know. We'll see. Facebook, all the places. We're going to post certain things and we're going to put the hashtag 2-minute warning. And what that means is, let's say we post something at 1 p.m. At 1:02, we're going to pick somebody from the first 2 minutes of commenting, and we're going to select winners and give out prizes.
Dude.
So you've got to post a comment within the first 2 minutes because you're going to get your 2-minute warning. So that's kind of that we're kind of baking the whole idea and figuring out how exactly to do it, but that's going to be the gist of it. So make sure you're following us on all the channels because you're going to get your 2-minute warning. And you're going to have 2 minutes to leave a comment, and we're going to select winners from those first 2 minutes of comments.
That's intense.
Yeah. So
I love it.
I like it. Now I just got to talk to Jeremy about all the prizes. No. Can we give away your truck? No.
Hey, that's a sweet truck,
Yeah,
too.
All right, so last question. This is from John. Hey, guys, on episode 191, you talked a bit about the truth-told verdict. I got one in a mystery box a few years ago and instantly fell in love with it. I know that it was the first truth, but EMAC wanted a straighter glider disc. I'm assuming glide here. Yeah. So it was renamed the verdict. But is it a verdict in the way we know it now?
Pretty close.
Or was it worked into a slightly more stable disc? The one I have is fairly broken in, but I wonder if it's really broken in or it's simply a less stable verdict.
It's that disc became the verdict.
Yeah, from what I understand, same mold.
It is the same. Well, there's a little because they had to do a different bottom for it because of the tooling.
Yeah, right.
But basically, it's the same mold. They went to the same specs and everything. But for whatever reason, that run of verdicts are the most overstable.
Mm-hmm.
The newer ones don't tend to be that quite overstable. They're still overstable for the most part, but not like just ridiculously overstable like those were.
Right.
But yes, it is basically a verdict.
Yep, that's what you got. And it's probably pretty worked in if it's going really straight for you at this point.
Definitely.
Because those were quite overstable.
Straight
the
to
ring ones, the
overstable.
proto ones, and then the AM Worlds ones were,
AM Worlds ones.
Yeah. Is the Moonshine ones?
Oh yeah. The
white and seafoam ones?
Yeah.
He also said, Robert is right. Nelly is unquestionably the worst character
Thank you.
on The Office.
You are correct. Thank you for verifying that.
Who was?
Nelly.
Oh. Yeah. I don't think I was here for that episode.
Oh,
I'm never here for the
who's the worst
the
office character? Who would you say is
episodes.
the worst Office character?
I mean, Nelly's a good one.
She's truly terrible. Charles Minor is pretty rough.
I don't really like Charles Minor at all.
Guys, I'm looking at a Disc Golf Answer Man question form that says 0 questions. We are starting over fresh. Speak pipe, nothing.
Fresh cakes.
Fresh cakes. So
the hot and fresh.
Come January 1st, I'm thinking, I don't know when I'll do it. Maybe I decide whenever. Well, I need to open it early so we have questions for the 1st of January. But I'll have a new form out or a new page that tells you how you can send in questions. You'll be able to send in questions either on Google Form, Facebook Messenger, or SpeakPipe. And you can choose which way you do it, and we'll get those questions answered for you. Looking back, episode 200 again.
It's crazy.
Thank you guys so much for allowing us to record these episodes. You know, if we had started this and we had got a few listeners, I think we would probably would have said, you know what, this isn't worth. Even though it's fun, we would think, you know, there's probably other things we need to do that get more of a feedback and stuff like that. But to look at our numbers, to see them grow and grow and grow, just makes me know that people appreciate it and they love listening to us talk and things like that. I'm hoping in the next year that we will get more guests on here. Maybe I'm trying to figure out a way to do phone calls so we can go back to calling people and getting questions. Maybe even calling more of our Team DD players to get more perspectives and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to have fun with that and hopefully have some really cool ideas. Anything you guys want to look back on episode 200?
Just super grateful to be able to do what we do. I mean, like you said, you know, y'all have done 200 of these. I've probably only done
12.
Yeah, I've probably only done probably 30-ish as a guess. But yeah, it's just honestly just really enjoyable, lots of fun. Because I mean, a lot of these things we would talk about if it wasn't on air at all. So we love that we get to interact with you and talk about things that we care about. You know, yes, it's really cool. It's super fun.
And as always, if you see us out at a tournament or something, please come up and say hello, shake my hand.
Please.
We were at the Kansas City Chiefs game, and I was in line to get a $12.
Alex Smith came up and said,
"Whoa,
thanks."
Wow, I can't believe
right.
it."
Oh, sorry.
No, I was in line, and I was getting a $12 margarita that was about an ounce of margarita.
Sounds about right.
Anyway, I was getting something to drink, and for my wife, I don't drink margaritas. Well, I guess I do sometimes. Anyway, so and someone tapped on my shoulder, and I turned around, and they were like, "Bobby, I saw your hoodie because I had a DD hoodie on. I saw your hoodie. I listened to your show. Thank you so much for everything you do." Blah, blah, blah. I just thought that was really cool. So anytime you're out there, you see myself, Eric. Don't pay attention to Robert. If you see us out
cut
there,
it out. That is rude.
If you see us, give us a handshake and say hello. We love that type of stuff.
And we have new Disc Golf Answer Man discs that are available right now.
Thank you.
We are happy to sign them for you if you request, or if you just want to throw them unadulterated by, you know, Eric's pretty cool signature, Bobby's relatively cool signature, and my really not cool signature. We're happy to accommodate you in any of those ways.
By the way, you need to learn where to put your autograph.
He did get mad at you.
Where? What?
Those blanks?
Because we usually it's EMAC over here, me
on top
here,
left,
and then you're down here. So it's like a nice little triangle.
That's what I usually do.
You had one like over here, and it was
on the top of it.
Yeah, it was like.
I usually, if I know all three of us are going to sign it, I usually just sign on the bottom.
Yeah, get it right, man. Get it right.
Also, we are taking applications for the third seat on Disc Golf Answer Man if you're interested.
I'm kidding, Robert. You're an asset to the team.
Whatever, man.
So what else we got? That's it, right? No, we're gonna give away a Ranger H2O.
No suspense in that. That's it, right? No.
Oh gosh, it's going to fall on me. Can you grab it? So for our video watchers, this is the Ranger H2O. It's the
Special Ops.
So it makes it H2O because water is kind of the theme with it. It's got a rain fly you put over it. It's got the ABS mold on the bottom, so it keeps the cloth from getting wet, obviously. And it's got a 52 ounce, I believe.
50 ounce bladder up top.
Bladder, so you can put your beverage of choice in there. Has all the storage space of a Ranger bag. Awesome space up top, side pockets, two putter pockets for two putters, and plenty of space for about at least 18 discs in there. It gets a little snug sometimes, depending on the molds, but at least 18 in there. And then plenty of space for your minis and keys and stuff like that. So it is a sweet, sweet bag. I know in the mystery box for the holidays, we did a really cool thing. We gave away 10 of these to some random people. But we're going to give this one away in the Disc Golf Answer Man show, and you're going to have to work for it. Ready?
You're going to have to take a picture. Oh.
You're going to have to take a picture yourself. You have to follow us on Instagram.
You have to buy.
You have to follow us on YouTube, and you have to follow Dynamic Disc on Facebook.
Dang.
No, I want the Disc Golf Answer Man page. So you've got to be on the Disc Golf Answer Man page. Take a screenshot of all three, Send it to the Disc Golf Answer Man Facebook Messenger, and we're going to select a winner.
Glad I don't have to monitor that message.
True.
I have to monitor all these messages. But it's fun. It's fun seeing everybody's messages. So, again, follow on Instagram, take a screenshot. Follow on YouTube, take a screenshot. Follow on Facebook, Disc Golf Answer Man, take a screenshot. Send all 3 of those pictures in one message to the Disc Golf Answer Man Facebook group, and I will pick a winner, and we will send out this sweet-looking Ranger H2O. All right, guys, that's it. That's all I got. This is it for 2017. Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, Eric McKay, Robert McCall, episode 200. We can't wait to see you guys in episode 201. We'll see you. Bye. Hey guys, thanks again for listening to the episode. Thanks again for listening. If you've listened to all 200 episodes, thank you. Very special thank you for listening to every episode. If you're kind of new, thanks for joining us. But what I want to talk to you guys about right now, real quick, there's something new. If you follow me anywhere on social media, whether follow me on my profile page on Facebook, if you follow Dynamic Disc, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, if you follow us at all, you know that I like to experiment with different things in social media. And there's something I've seen other companies, not necessarily in disc golf, but in other places do. But I want to put a little disc golf spin on it. And we're calling it the 2-minute warning. And what that is, and of course you should be all familiar with 2 minutes whenever you're playing a tournament. But we're calling it the 2-minute warning. And what it is we, in 2018, and maybe a little early as I kind of play with this, when we put a post out on Instagram, so you got to follow us on Instagram. We're going to experiment with Instagram, see how it goes, and maybe we'll kind of go to some other platforms. But right now, it's just Instagram. So go find us at Dynamic Discs. Follow us on Instagram. And if you're rolling your eyes and you're like, I don't follow Instagram, whatever, follow us on Instagram. What's going to happen is when we make a post, we're going to randomly select certain posts, and we're going to pick somebody who leaves a comment within the first 2 minutes. That's right. You have your 2-minute warning right now. Within the first 2 minutes, you leave a comment. So let's just say an example is I'm going to post something at 1 p.m. At 1:02 p.m., I'm going to go back and I'm going to look through the people that just posted within that first 2 minutes. I'm going to select a winner, and we're going to give away hats. We're going to give away discs. We're going to give away accessories. We're going to give away maybe even some bags. We're going to throw in some bags just to kind of get that hype. But you got to post a comment within the first 2 minutes. We're calling it hashtag 2-minute warning. Or is it hashtag 2-minute warning? I told you this is kind of the beginning, so I'm trying to get it figured out. But it's your 2-minute warning right now. So follow along on Instagram and play along with us and have some fun. And we'll see how this goes. And that's it. 2 minutes.